Welcome to the Mario Matter, the #1 Nintendo podcast.
My friends, although we know it might be fake, we have rumors of a brand new 3D Mario game that we talk about today. Welcome on into the Mario Matter, folks. I'm your host, Nintendo Switch 2 YouTuber EmSwizzle, episode 184 of the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. On today's show, we go over Nintendo news from the past week, that leaked 3D Mario game, which we'll talk about, and then after that, a little Q&A segment where our guests and I answer your questions you asked us, and our guest today, folks, the returning OJ PlayerEssence. How's it going?
Man, it is going good. I want to say thank you for having me back on. Your show has been awesome. So it's just super cool to be here. We've got some really big leaks to talk about today, right? Like,
yes. I was telling you off
big
camera.
Information.
I was telling you off camera, it's been too long since our last chat, even though it was only last August for Drag and Drive. So glad to have you back on. And I've seen you as well, at least a little bit vocal on these new 3D Mario leaks. So I can't wait to dive into it with you in a bit here. But yeah, should be a great time. We can dive into our first piece of news though, because maybe you also have some thoughts on this. I don't usually talk about Switch 2 updates, OJ, but I think if you would agree, we got a pretty sizable one this week.
Yeah, definitely a big update. One of the things that actually a lot of people have been talking about how Nintendo should do, and they did it, and it seems like, you know, I thought maybe that they would do this like 2 years in, because you know how slow Nintendo does updates or like features.
Yes.
But came maybe quicker than maybe some expected.
Right. And I'll walk through the most notable details. There are some more small things like some game chat improvements, but these are the things that you all will want to hear about. So the first thing, in no order here of coolest to worst, they added the ability to save private notes about your friends on your friend list, which, I mean, is a cool detail. If someone's named like PlayerEssence, right, you can say, oh, you can like write in the note, his name's OJ, so that you don't forget it when you game chat with them. You can write like little private notes that they can't see. They added the ability to rewind. This is why'd I even put this on here? Added the ability to rewind 10 seconds or go forward 10 seconds when you're watching a video in the Nintendo eShop or the news tab. That's a small thing. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's new. In airplane mode, when you turn that on, it always disables Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC for Amiibo support. Now you can individually enable and disable all of those options. So if you're on the plane but you do want to use Wi-Fi but not Bluetooth or NFC, you can turn on the Wi-Fi only, that sort of thing. And then also, which is the one that everyone's talking about right here, they added a setting called handheld mode boost, which what this is if you are on the Nintendo Switch 2 and you're playing a Nintendo Switch 1 game, you can, and you may know more about this than I do. I feel like maybe you would be more in the technical aspect, OJ. But if I'm not wrong, it's just providing enhancements to Switch 1 games, like almost as if you were playing it in docked mode. Do I have this right?
That is essentially it. It kind of like tricks the system into thinking that you're playing the docked mode, but it's in handheld mode, just because the settings are pretty specific when it comes to playing in handheld mode compared to dock mode. So for everyone who maybe are kind of not understanding what's going on here, is that the problem is that the Switch 2 screen is much bigger. It's in 1080p, but it still had the profiles of the Switch 1 games running in portable mode. And Switch 1, a lot of developers, you know, had to do some things to get it running properly on Switch 1 with resolution because of the CPU, GPU limits and all of that. And so it looked worse. You can actually have games that look better on your Nintendo Switch 1 than they would on your Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch 1 games. So this essentially took those docked settings and put them portable, and it provides big updates for a lot of the bigger AAA titles out there. Definitely look better, but also some of Nintendo's games like Xenoblade Chronicles, all the Xenoblade Chronicles games for the most part, and stuff like even like Luigi's Mansion, you know, getting that boost from 720p or 6 something p or 540p to 1080p or 720p. It's a big jump. Even like games like The Witcher 3 too, huge improvement because the portable resolution on that was pretty bad. Games like Wolfenstein, for example, Wolfenstein 2 become playable at this point now because it was so blurry.
Yeah.
It was so blurry on Switch 1 handheld mode. It becomes actually somewhat playable handheld on Switch 2 now. So pretty cool.
Right. I've seen a lot of people like show off the Xenoblade differences. I haven't tried it myself because, I mean, first of all, I'm just not really playing Switch 1 games in the big 2026. Totally fine if anyone out there is. I just feel like I'm not going back to, I don't know, I'm just playing all the new stuff. But I've seen a lot of Xenoblade, like how you were saying, the big AAA type of games that didn't run the best. I've seen a lot of comparisons with that. Less of like, I don't know, Princess Peach Showtime differences. Like I've seen less of that, more of like it's good for the big old games that Switch could barely handle. So I will maybe use it in the future. Haven't tried it much myself, but it's a great thing. I'm just wondering, like, why do they gotta bring it where are we at? Almost a year later into the Switch 2's life. I don't know, maybe it needed some more testing, but as you said, thankfully it wasn't 2 years in, because that would have been worse, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Nintendo's usually pretty slow to bring out new features with the Switch 1, or even if you go back a bit more with the Wii U, it would sometimes take the whole generation or just not come at all.
Yeah.
So definitely would have been good if this was at launch. I agree with you there. Like I felt that this was maybe should be at launch, but it does seem like there are some issues because like touchscreen capabilities sometimes don't work. So it's not perfect with everything. So maybe they did need some advanced testing there, but either way, it's good, you know, for that. Now it's different, just to let the viewers know, it is different from like a native Switch 2, like an update, right? So something like Super Mario Odyssey, for example, that's a different situation. So it's not quite the same. I saw people trying to say, oh, it's the exact same. And I'm like, no, not exactly the same when it comes to that. Because remember, those are native. That's when they actually did the work themselves. These ones are just basically updating for the docked profile in portable mode. So there are going to be some things that are a bit different from like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and some of the stuff that Nintendo actually did work on, or even Splatoon 3.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense. And thank you for that info, because I would have missed that myself. Golly. But yes, this is a good update. Once again, there were some small things like game chat improvements. You don't have to have people sign up for game chat before you can, invite them to a game chat. All this sort of small stuff. Switch 2 is only getting better, so that's good news. Our next piece of news I want to dive into. OJ, I want to ask, how excited are you for Tomodachi Life? I'm not sure if this is your style of game. I kind of want to find the answer here.
Here's the funny thing. I've seen Tomodachi Life, and I remember when it blew up, and I wasn't very excited for Pokemon Pocopia either. And it ended up being actually a really fun game.
Yeah.
But with Tomodachi Life, I'm interested in checking it out. My newfound Pocopia love. And I've played Animal Crossing and I've played some of these type of games before. So I'm interested in at least checking it out and just seeing like, okay, what's the hype about? Because so many people love this game. They love the 3DS game and they are so excited for this one. So I'm definitely going to buy it. Like I'm going to buy it and check it out. I mean, whether I'm going to like it or not, who knows? But I didn't know if I was going to like Pocopia, and that turned out to be like awesome. So
right. Yep. I'm enjoying that too. So I guess our piece of news here, we got Tomodachi Life rated from the ESRB, which of course is, when you buy a game box in America anyway, that little rating in the bottom left, like E for everyone, that sort of thing. They gave a description on Tomodachi Life. Doesn't sound like groundbreaking news. The game is E for everyone, as we should expect. However, they did mention one thing in their description that kind of has popped some eyes, which is the fact that Tomodachi Life Living the Dream for the Switch is set to have mini games in it. I apologize. And so what does that mean? So the description here says, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream is rated E for everyone by the ESRB with comic mischief and mild fantasy violence. This is a simulation game in which players create, customize, and help Mii characters live and thrive on an island. Players can construct shops and landmarks, build relationships with other Miis, but here's the big kicker, and complete various mini-games. So there's some people saying that this could be a return of a mode in the original Tomodachi Life called Tomodachi Quest. And that was a mini-game style, like more action type thing. It almost reminds me of, did you have Street Pass, OJ? What was that? Yep. What was that game called where like you'd fight those slimes?
Yeah, like the Me Quest or
Yes,
the Me,
yes.
I forgot what it was called, but yes, I did that back in the day whenever I could. Like when I would go to E3 and stuff like that, I would try to bring my 3DS and do like that little Me Street Pass thing and
Yeah.
all that. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, the good old days. But you know,
Yeah.
they might bring something like that back because they had that in the original Tomodachi Life. Anywho, I guess the point is like when they say mini games, I imagine that we're gonna get some like fun things to do because in the 3DS Tomodachi Life, you kind of like just go around and talk to all your Miis and it kind of ends there. But in Living the Dream, seems like we're getting some more content here. So I guess any more content is good content, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, for me at least, this stuff is really important for me to be into the game. Like, I don't mind just having like a simulation, but I like to have like, I think what separates some of the good, like cozy games or whatever you want to put into this genre of simulation games is the fact that they actually have like stuff to do outside of just the simulation.
Yeah.
So are there mini games? Are there challenges? Are there quests? Are there like achievements? Are there actual things to do to like kind of make it more like a game, you know? So for me, this is I didn't know about that. So this is the first time that I'm hearing about this whole mini game thing with the ESRB. So I like that. That makes me far more interested in it, especially if there are good mini games. I just think it makes it better. I mean, I know like this is a different genre, but like Pokemon Stadium back in the day, like yeah, you had like the regular Pokemon battles, but there were some really cool mini games that actually made the game. Like a lot of my friends, like we would play back in the day, and we thought it was awesome that they included these random mini games. It made the game a lot better and added value to it. So as long as they're doing stuff like this, to me, in my opinion at least, it makes the game like it enhances the value of the game when you have stuff like this and like these weird sim games or stuff. So I like it. I think this is a positive thing for the game.
Right. I love it because I was just worried like if they make it too similar to the last Tomodachi Life, I'm gonna get bored. There's not a whole lot to do there, so I'm glad they're adding not only the whole decoration of the island like they showed off in the direct, but also just more mini games and things to do. That's always good. Our only last piece of news is one that came out a couple days ago. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is now available on Nintendo Switch Online for the expansion pack members, the GameCube Switch Online. I will be honest, this game was before my time. I'm a spring chicken, so OJ, I'm gonna rely on your knowledge here if you have any on this game. Maybe you don't, maybe you do.
I have a little bit, but I never was a big fan of like the GameCube games. I was always more of a fan of the portable games. So I've been around. I've played it a little bit when it comes to beforehand back in the day. I haven't got a chance to play it now on the GameCube online. But I did play it back then a little bit and it was okay, but I was always into a lot of the competitive battling. Like that was kind of my thing back then. Pokemon Red and Blue. I mean, I used it as like they were trying to market it like, hey, on the schoolyard, go battle your friend. Like that was literally me back then.
Right. That's
so I was always into competitive battling. I was always into that, with Pokemon, the original. So like when it came out on the GameCube, I mean, that was 2003. So I was already, I think I was in high school or something like that. I think, yeah. So like, I don't know. I just thought I was like, okay, it's cool. Like I remember my friends, like we would play or whatever. And I just played it for a bit. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I kind of said, I'm good on that. I'll still stick to my, I think at that time I think I was still playing like Ruby or something like that. Or there was like Ruby or Sapphire. There was like one of those Pokemon games or Fire Red, Leaf Green, the original at that time. So I was kind of just more into the handheld than the GameCube one. But yeah, man, like it's cool. It's cool that it actually came out. But also, Max, there's some other piece of information with this. Seems like they improved the GameCube emulation based on tests. There were some issues like with lag and all of that.
Yes.
So it looks like that's been improved a bit. They tested it out with F-Zero, and I think they tested it out with something else. And it does seem like the quality of like the images or the games, in addition to the input latency, has been improved. So that's also great too.
Really? I'll take that. Okay, wow. Yeah. Beautiful. I never noticed too much of a problem there, but maybe a little bit of input lag. So, okay, I'll take it. That's beautiful. Thank you, Nintendo. Great.
Yeah.
What other GameCube games were you into back then? Because I feel like that's the era that I missed. Like, what was hot for OJ back then?
Oh my gosh, man! For me, my friends, this was in the era of like a lot of LAN stuff, right? Like a lot of multiplayer LAN. online was kind of getting going with systems, not Nintendo, but
Yeah.
online was getting going. So we loved Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mhm.
That was like a huge game that all of the homies loved. Like everybody, even people that like at that time, people were like hating on Nintendo hardcore, right? Like people were just like, nobody cares. But Mario Kart was the game that kind of brought everybody together to play. Super Smash Brothers Melee. That was also another like massive game that everybody loved. I mean, I remember I went to football camp. And you know, some of the guys, they weren't even into like video games, but they were into Melee. Like we would go and like play on the big screen. They were into that. So that was a ton of fun. Also like, you know, Luigi's Mansion, the original is kind of weird at first, but it kind of grew on people. That was like a blockbuster like the Blockbuster, like Video City or whatever your local rental, that thing would be rented out. The box would be crusty. It would be rented out so many times. So like
box,
Luigi's, Luigi's Mansion was always a banger. Man, there's so many to count. I mean, you have like Wave Race. That was also a really cool one, kind of for people to play back when Nintendo still did that. 1080 snowboarding was cool. There was SSX Tricky. That was on there. A lot of third-party stuff. Metal Gear Solid. I remember playing that. That was the first time, at least in the modern Nintendo, that we got a Metal Gear Solid. It was a remake of the original Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. That was awesome. Oh man, I can go on forever about the GameCube. Phantasy Star Online. That game was online. But it had local multiplayer too. So the Phantasy Star Online games were always dope. There's just, oh man, there's so many games to kind of go over. The classic Mario Sunshine, everybody knows about that, whether you love it or hate it or anywhere in between. We talked about Path of Radiance back then too. I think on the last show that I was on with you, because I think it was coming out at that time. So Path of Radiance was really cool. Skies of Arcadia. That was a great third-party RPG by Sega. It was from the Dreamcast, but they made it better on GameCube. You know, so you need to stop me, Max, before I just keep going.
No, I'm sitting here loving it. This is great. I'm unfamiliar with a lot of GameCube, so yeah, that's great. My favorites now are Luigi's Mansion. I played Wave Race. Is it Blue Storm or my dream? Like what's
Blue Storm? Yeah, that's the name.
I've played that. I've played. Obviously, like the big ones, Sunshine and all that. But yeah, that's great to hear because I just wasn't around, so you know it's nice to hear. I was loving it, but yeah, Pokemon XD Gale Darkness out now on Switch Online. Do you have the expansion pack?
I do.
Okay, awesome. I keep getting this question. Would you recommend it to just in general, like for the price? I feel like the answer is yes, but I want to get it from you because I've been asked that a lot recently.
Yeah, I mean, like it's $50, so you have to also think about, you know, I always tell people, listen, it's still 50 every single year. That's good in comparison to maybe competing platforms out there. That's a pretty good price. But I will say, if you're not going to actually play the games, then it's not worth it for you. You can take that 50 and put it into a game. So I'll say this, like if you're someone who, you know, likes the classics or want to experience them, like you're actually going to spend time playing the classic games, then it's worth it because it does give you online play with them too. So if you want to play with your buddies, it actually makes it really kind of fun. I played Tech Mobile, which is an old school, you know, NES game online. And I'm like, that was trippy because I never played that online, you know, back in the day. That was like a thing that would never happen. So the added online play and the amount of games, now at this point, I can say that I can recommend it. But really, I know it sounds trivial, but really only if you're really going to spend the time to play the games and actually go through them. But the quality is better, and you do get quite a number of games. I would like there to be a bit more GameCube games than I can say it's maybe a slam dunk, you know, if they had Melee and if they had just a bit more of the GameCube. But I will say, considering what's on there right now, like how many systems you get, how many games you get, and online, it is a recommendation. But, you know, it'd be for people that are actually going to use it, not just just to say, I have it, you know?
Right. I mean, GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, NES, SNES, like it's very Sega Genesis too, like it's all worth it. So either if you like it, buy it. If you don't, take that $50 and, you know, invest S&P 500. But anywho, folks, let's get to our next piece of news. We got to talk about this, and I don't want to call it news. It's just making the rounds this week. And we're gonna preface it. We're not gonna be like, oh, is it real? No, it's fake. It's fake. It's fake. But we have a fake.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Max?
I don't know.
Are
man.
you sure? It might be real, dude. Come on.
We're gonna dive into it. But there's a let's just call it leaked 3D Mario game making the rounds on Twitter, online, on Reddit, on all the platforms. We're going to break it down today and give you our thoughts. Would we even want something like this? Part of it might just be us laughing at how poor these images are, these leaked images are, that we will show you if you're watching the video version. Let's go ahead and dive into it right now. My friends, if you have been on Twitter or on Reddit over the past week or even two, you may have heard of the Super Mario Titans game. This is apparently the next 3D Mario game. I shouldn't say apparently, let's just make sure that people know, we know this is fake. But this is supposedly the next big thing in Mario history. And to give you the rundown before we show you the leaked images, or quote-unquote leaked images, Super Mario Titans is shaping up to be a superhero 3D Mario game. It's all action, it's all fun. We'll show you some of the leaked pictures. I just want to laugh at this and talk about, would we like this game? How we know it's fake? Let's laugh at how good or bad some of the fakes actually are, because I actually have some good things to say. I can't even lie. I actually have a little bit of good to say, but let's dive in. So I guess let's start. This came up on Twitter. Tell me when you first discovered Super Mario Titans.
Yeah, I was on Twitter because I'm just on that stupid site all the time.
Sure.
And and somebody tagged me and was like, "Hey man, look, the next 3D Mario game."
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, I literally started busting out laughing. Like it was like midnight or something. I was doing some work, and I was editing. Whatever I edit, I'm always on like Twitter, just like on the side. And I literally started busting out laughing. I had to stop, like just to kind of gather my breath,
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, this is gonna fade. It's gonna go away. Nobody's gonna care. Then all of a sudden, it just keeps coming back.
It's bigger than ever.
It just keeps returning again and again. And I'm like, oh my goodness, just let this thing rest already. But no, people are really trying to push this as if it's like the next thing. But yeah, my first impression was like literally I started like legitimate, like LOL, just out loud, just bursting out laughing because I thought it looked so goofy. But yeah, like you said though, Max, there are some things we can talk about here in here.
Yes. So let's dive into these leaked images. This is not all of them, but I'd say the gist of it. Let's dive in. So first things first, before we show you any of the gameplay screenshots, apparently, let's look at this logo, OJ. So this first picture that I have here is this logo. I gotta say, it's not a bad logo.
No, it's not a bad logo.
It has that superhero cape and everything. Like
it's got the cape. I mean, they're trying.
I know. Now, what's funny to me, I don't know if they do this so that it looks more real. There's some like Japanese text over it that would not be over the official logo if this was real. And there's like a tiny like superhero emoji. I don't know if these quote unquote leakers are doing that to make it look like this was taken in the Nintendo headquarters under some secret smartphone. I have no idea.
This was Miyamoto's desk. It was his. He was right there. That's his desk.
Looks like it. But this logo, I gotta give him credit. It's not terrible. It's not that bad.
It's not bad. They trying, man. They trying.
Yeah. So we move on to some gameplay screenshots. Let's move on. Let's go to the second one here. There's no certain like context to each one, but we see Mario and we see Bowser in his Super Mario Titans uniform. We got him in this superhero costume outfit. What do we notice here? What I notice, based on all these gameplay, screenshots here, is it looks basically just like an Odyssey 2, like not Odyssey 2, but like this was just like, if you could take the Odyssey everything style art style, this is like just remade Odyssey screen. Like it's nothing new. It's like Odyssey style,
Yeah, it's ripped. It looks like the models are ripped straight from Odyssey
Yes.
and then modified, like within like an editor or within however people would do it in whatever program they use. So yeah, that's the first thing that I noticed instantly was like, yeah, this looks just ripped straight from Odyssey, the models and all that.
Right. And even like the same kingdoms too. We can go to this picture here. Like it's just ripped from Odyssey's backgrounds. Or not backgrounds, locations, golly. And it's just like, who is this big Koopa Troopa? Why are we, like this picture here, why are we partnering up with a Koopa Troopa with a cape and we're fighting another Koopa. It just makes no sense. I just like don't know. Mario Titans is all over the place here. On the next picture we have an ice cream elephant. Like, listen, it sounds like funky stuff that Nintendo would do, but I can't believe this. I don't know.
You know what? They're trying to get creative with this one. The ice cream elephant. I gotta give them credit for that one. Like, that's definitely something Nintendo be like, hey, look, they like elephants. Let's go. Like, Nintendo's been doing elephants, with the, Donkey Kong Bonanza and with Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Hey, let's go to make an elephant here, So no, I'll give them some A for creativity. I'll give them A with that one specifically. I don't know about the previous screenshot with the chunky Koopa or chunky Koopa. I don't know about chunk Koopa, but this one a little bit better for creativity.
Right, and then we got this picture of Peach being kidnapped by God knows who that is, superhero robot villain. I mean, listen, it's hard to whether it's AI or whether someone put some serious craftsmanship into this, which I don't believe. I mean, listen, the pictures look kind of good. If this was a real game, I don't know if I'd actually be opposed to it. Like, superhero Mario style, these new villains and characters and elephants. This Peach picture's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, the model for Peach here, once again, just ripped straight from what we saw with Odyssey. I don't know who this robot thing is. It reminds me of something though, but I can't quite put my finger on this robot design. I forgot exactly where. Maybe somebody in the audience knows. But this robot design definitely seems like they took it from somewhere else, but I just can't remember from where. But I've seen this type of robot design before. I just don't remember where exactly. But yeah, I mean, the concept seems okay, right? Like, you transform, you use power-ups. Power-ups have always been huge in Mario games. Like, power-ups, to me, some of the best things about the Mario games. Like, I love Mario Bros. 3. Power-ups were crazy in that game back in the day. So, and we've had a lot of games with cool power-ups. So, I mean, if they did something like this, but obviously not just ripped straight from Odyssey, I mean, it could definitely be a concept, that people I think would enjoy.
Right. And guys, if you think that's the worst that we have, hold on. There's one example I've got later on that's just how it's fake. Because listen, there's probably someone out there, maybe even because I know if I was a young kid, I would believe this. If I was 7 or 8, I'd be like, oh my gosh, Mario Titans is coming. So I have something later that'll really debunk all of this. But I gotta say, if there's any screenshot that had me okay, hang on. Is there any possible way that this is real? It's this next one. It's not even a gameplay screenshot. It's just this shot of Bowser. It's like this Bowser render. Listen, that looks like it's real. I'm not saying that it is, but I could see that coming right. If you search Bowser Mario Titans PNG on Google, that's what comes up. This Bowser right here. It looks somewhat like it could come out of Nintendo's office. I can't lie. It looks kind of real.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. They're trying with these ones. Whoever was doing this, he was working. He was definitely working to get people to be excited. And the funny thing about it, Max, is even like you said before your time, people would try. People would absolutely put up stuff on the internet. My uncle works at Nintendo or whatever type of stuff. The there has been really convincing leaks. I mean, this one, like I said, there are some things that maybe could be if you were younger, but there are adults who believe that this is real too. So I mean, there are grown men and women who believe this thing is real. So,
dude, here's the problem.
Just kids.
If it is real, we're gonna come back to this podcast and be like, golly, we messed up.
Yeah, listen, if it's, I'll take the L on that.
Same.
One. This is, I will take the L willingly. All right, I'm wrong.
Man, I'm gonna be upset. All right, so here's where we get into this. This is just beyond fake. This is where the effort got a little bit lower. We have this picture of a Goomba enemy with a crown and a mustache. Very high effort enemy. I mean, golly, this is what they've been cooking up for the last 10 years. This is the enemy. This is the bad guy that we've all been fearing. This is not creative. This cannot come out of Nintendo. It can't.
It almost seems like Party City. You get the fake
mustache,
the costumes. Just get me the Monopoly mustache. Get me a crown.
That's it.
Let me just roll to the party, bro.
Oh man, that's exactly what this guy. It's mustache crown. Otherwise, it's a Goomba. I don't know what that means. Is he like the king Goomba? I have no idea.
He's about to eat a Whopper somewhere, bro.
Golly, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. And then this, okay, honestly, like, if there's any ounce of me that believed Mario Titans was real, this next thing was just like, our last thing here was just the kill shot. I was like, wow, like, this really does it. I've got 2 screenshots I'll throw on screen, and we have them on the notes, OJ. There's this one screenshot of Mario in like a swampy looking area on some lily pads. All looks great. Looks almost like we've never seen this kind of area before. We have Toad right there, fishing. It's all a good time. I don't know who found it. Kudos to you. If I can find you on Twitter, I'll credit you on screen. Somebody found this screenshot of Kung Fu Panda, the video game. And if you look at the 2 pictures, it is the exact same level design. So they just robbed this Kung Fu Panda level. Whether it was Nintendo or whoever was making these fake leaks, robbed this Kung Fu Panda level and just like put it into Mario Titans. This was the kill shot for me. I was like, okay, this person who made it is a Kung Fu Panda fan and just stole this level. I don't know. This was the kill shot.
Yeah, Kung Fu Mario. That
Yes.
maybe that could have been the game here that we're talking about.
It could have been.
I'm interested. I'm interested in this suit that he's wearing. Is that like a Hammer Bros suit? It seems like that's like the Mario 3 Hammer Bros suit or something like that. Which, I mean, that's cool.
I was just gonna ask. Yeah, what is this? Oh yeah,
it looks just from the. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the people in the chat can correct me. But it does seem like that would be like Mario's like Hammer Bros 3 suit, like the black, maybe with like white overalls. They don't bring that suit back a lot. I know they kind of like not a weird version, but they have kind of like some rendition of it in like in New Super Mario Bros.
Right.
But like the classic Mario Bros 3 Hammer Bros suit, it looks kind of like that. So I mean, I'll give the person credit for that's kind of cool, you know. Like I said, I'm a big Mario 3 fan. Anything from Mario 3 Frog suits, Hammer Bros suits, I love that stuff. But yeah, this is ripped from Kung Fu Panda.
I know. God, I mean, he has that helmet on. Looks like Hammer Bro. I'm gonna get real close to my monitor here. I have to like get out of my chair. What is that green little gem in that dude's mouth? What is that?
Yeah. From what I can see here,
like a collectible of some sort. Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like some type of collectible or glowing orb, or maybe like something that that you can go there. I don't know if it's like a save point. It probably not. It looks like a collectible or something like that.
But then also, what I don't like is the whole UI is just Odyssey. Like we can't have that after almost 10 years of 3D Mario making. I want something new.
Yeah, it just seems like, I know I've had conversations on other podcasts before, and there are some people who feel like there's going to be like Odyssey 2. Some people think, hey, we're going to have Odyssey 2, but I'm thinking, man, that'd be a long gap for just, hey, we're going to take the same concept and do it again.
Right.
Usually, if we get like a follow-up to a Mario game, it's pretty close in proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Like Galaxy 1, then Galaxy 2. That was 3 years away, and it's usually like not always on the same system, but it's just closer. Like I think like Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario 3D World. So usually it's pretty close in proximity. They don't take a decade in between and say, oh, we're gonna rip everything straight from this and it's gonna look exactly the same. They usually do new concept, and like new fonts and new UIs and new different and this is obviously a different concept than Super Mario Odyssey, because it's like Titan's okay, like big superpowers or whatever, but I don't know if they just rip everything straight from like Odyssey though, in that sense when it comes to graphics. Like usually like 3D Mario games, they all kind of have a different like kind of style to them. Like when it comes like from different systems, like you're going like 64 to Sunshine, then Sunshine to Galaxy, very different concepts,
Yep, for sure. So I don't know. On a scale from 1 to 10. Okay, well, you know what? Before that, was there ever a moment, OJ, where you were like, okay, hang on, maybe the part of this is real, or nothing at all?
No, I've been through too many battles and too many fixed.
Yeah,
I'm old and I've been through way too many of these. Most of the time they're not real. The large majority of the time, or usually if something like this comes out and it leaks already, you'll have the guys that are in the know confirm it. They'll come out and say, you know what, that is correct. You'll have like the Jason Schreiers, right? Some of the journalists, or like Nate the Hate, some of the people that we know that have gotten a lot of stuff right. They'd come out and say something. The fact that they've said nothing just tells me, yeah, this is a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we said the same thing at the same time. We think alike. Nothing burger. But on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate this leak? Not from a believability standpoint, but like effort. I go like 9.5. They went all out on this one.
Definitely an 8 and up. Definitely an 8 and up. They were trying, they were looking at different stuff. I mean, like I said, if this is the Hammer Bros suit, that might get an extra point right there for bringing that back,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they were trying. They did their best. I like the ice cream elephant. I think that's kind of funny. Yeah, that's kind of funny too. There are some, like I said, some silly things, obviously, that like they should have maybe tried a little bit better, like with the UI on some things. But yeah, I'm gonna give them at least an 8, maybe higher, at least an 8 for effort. Because like I don't think I could do this, to be honest. I don't think I could put out a leak like this.
Right, neither. And I just like, obviously, like the whole word is like, oh, it's all AI, but like I'm proud to say, like, not like for my work stuff, but I am just like a casual chat GPT user. I don't think I could tell GPT to like make these. Like, it's not that easy. Like, I don't know what AI they would have used to make. It's still advanced. Like, I don't know what they're doing, or maybe it's not AI. I'm just saying, like, whatever hoops they had to go through. It's not like, oh, just tell Grok or your AI of choice to make this Mario screenshot. Like, they had to go through some hoops, whatever they used to make this. I would say kudos to them, but this is like a stupid leak, so I don't want to say kudos. I applaud the effort, is what I'm saying. Like, they really been dragging it out. So,
sometimes leaks like this, and if you speak to some of the people that will make leaks, they kind of do things just like this just to get Nintendo aware about, hey, make the next Mario. Put out something about Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just for people to talk about 3D Mario because we haven't had one yet. I think really a lot of times the leakers are just trying to get conversation around what they like when they do stuff like this. So
yeah, I'm trying to get more like you. Like, I'm still at the point where I'm like, oh, you know what? Is it possibly real? You're like, nah, no way. Like, I'm trying to get like you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said. We've seen a number of I've seen a number of fake leaks. Like I said, this type of stuff has happened many, many times before. Like when the internet first started, people would try down. Obviously, it wasn't as good as this in comparison to some of those old fake leaks. But we had magazines, those things that you read back in the day. We had magazines, and some of those would have some fake leaks and fake stuff. But the internet was wild, wild west back then. So people would you didn't know where stuff was coming from half the time, so it was interesting to see all that. So most of the time, like I would say 95% of the time when we got a Nintendo first party leak, some type of thing, like we've seen it with Legend of Zelda. That was the thing, Max, back in the day. Like I said, before you were even born, the thing was, how can I even like trick people with Legend of Zelda? You put up Legend of Zelda, that meant traffic. So if you have some type of fake leak about Legend of Zelda, some type of fake, title and stuff that you can put up, man, that used to run rampant every time there'd be a new Nintendo system. There'd be fake leaks about Legend of Zelda.
Right. And now we got Mario Titans. But last question before we close out of here. OJ, if this leak was real, everything is real, screenshots are real, we see this in the next June Direct. Are we excited? Like, superhero Mario game, all this stuff. Like, are we in? Or do we want something different?
I'd have to be in. There's no
yeah, same.
There's no option here to not. If it was real, I'd have to eat crow. That's the first thing I have to do. Nowhere near as smart as I think I am, so I'll just put that out there. So, and number 2 would be like, we'd have to be able to play it, right? I think that's the thing. Like, if the controls are good, if the gameplay seems fun, if they refine it and all of that, then obviously it's a concept that can work. Like, that concept works. And I think that's the reason why the person put this out there, because the concept can work. Transformations have been a big thing. Like, it's a big thing with Mario. People love transformations. So superhero type transformations, playing the game, like flying through different places and having different powers, that definitely seems like something that you can get on board with. I would just want it to be more like built specifically for Switch 2 and not ripped from Odyssey, Right. So that's fine. You want to use the Odyssey engine, but it needs to look a lot better, or it needs to, have some distinction between just looking like Mario Odyssey Maker or something, you know? Or
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be a little bit different. But folks, let us know what you think about Mario Titans. I was gonna ask, do you believe it? Do you not? But I hope no one here believes it. So if you don't believe it, good on you. But let us know what you think. Would you be down for a game like this? I guess we'll find out what the 3D Mario actually is. In a few months, maybe, or maybe not until next year. We'll see. There's some talk of like, oh, it's coming out this year, so maybe within a matter of months we'll see. Maybe we won't. With that said, folks, let's go ahead and get to the next segment, the Q&A segment, where OJ and I answer your questions you asked us. Let's go ahead. Let's get to it. My friends, you have arrived at the question blog segment where OJ and I answer your questions you asked us. If you want to ask a question on the podcast, there are a few ways to do so. Number one, you can comment down below on any platform that you are listening on. Number two, join the Discord server link down below. You can ask questions in there. Number three, I do a YouTube community post every single week on my main channel, EmSwizzle. If you see it, kudos. Number four, last way, you can email mariomatterquestions@gmail.com. First question comes from Aloha Chama, who asks, who would you and your guest actually be able to take in a fight and get to tap out of all Nintendo game characters? Also, third-party characters are allowed. All right, OG, let's think. I know my answer.
Do not know the answer. I need you to go first, Max.
Dude. Taking a fight? All right, so let's just which characters can't fight? Mario can fight, Luigi can fight, Princess Peach Showtime, she can fight. You know who can't fight? We've never seen him fight, runs for his life. Give me Toad. Toad's going down.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to have to follow you on that one, Toad, because you think pretty much every Smash Brothers character can just instantly beat you up. Right. Even the Villager. You know, even the Villager. I know. He's got all sorts of crazy stuff. If you take it in his Smash Brothers form. So yeah, I'd have to go with Toad as well then. I'm gonna have to follow you there, Max.
Right, and by the way, like Captain Toad is a game where he has his own game, but his only attack is he'll get a pickaxe which he can get people with. All right, cool. Or you can throw a turnip at somebody. I'm sorry, but if Toad throws a turnip at me, I'm standing tall. I'm not hurt by this. So, all right, Toad's our answer. Maybe Yoshi. Well, Yoshi would just eat me, wouldn't he?
He would turn you into an egg, or he would ground pound you, and I think we'd turn into bits.
Oh,
if he did that. Yeah, Yoshi, and the headbutt that he has. I don't know, man. That'd be scary.
Rough one. All right, so Toad will beat you up, bud. NC Dude asks, what Nintendo game that you had played previously that was so hard you either had to cheat or give up and go back years later in order to beat it? I'll start with you if you have an answer.
Nintendo, it had to have been NES games.
Because those were hard.
The NES games were just really difficult. So, I think, is he meaning Nintendo first party game or anything we played on Nintendo platform?
I would imagine first party, but we can make it broad if we need to.
Yeah, because first party games, for the most part, I can beat all of Nintendo's first part. I never had a problem back in the day beating Nintendo's first party games. I could always, there might have been something that I'm missing off the top of my head, but Fire Emblem would definitely be one of those games where I just was getting cooked. Yeah. When I'd be playing the old school Fire, you just get cooked. And then I went back and beat some of the old school Fire Emblem games before they added the casual modes and in Awakening and all that. Some of those old Fire Emblem games, man, they were very difficult. So that would be the one for me at least. But if we're talking just more broad, Ninja Gaiden on the old school, and game's nearly impossible to beat, man. And oh my gosh, I would just die so many times. Or even the original, one of the original Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtles game on the NES, it's just insane how difficult some of these games are. Right. They were built for kids. They're supposed to be for kids. Man, go back and play those guys. Oh my goodness. They are really hard. So a lot of those games, I played them, didn't beat them, but then I remember going back and beating them later when I got a bit older.
Right. What I've heard, which I'm sure is just common knowledge to anybody who lived that era, but for me who didn't, what I've heard is they made the game so hard so that they would last longer, right?
Yep. Yeah, yeah, and a lot of the games were built for like sometimes arcades, so they're there to eat your quarters.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're there to just constantly eat your quarters over and over. I know arcades aren't as big of a thing, not in today's day outside of like, Dave and Buster's or some like the birthday atmosphere stuff. But back then, a lot of times, like, that's where you'd play a lot of games. It's like, oh, can I get, your mom or dad, whatever, uncle, give you a bunch of quarters. They'll give you like maybe 15 quarters or something like that. And you go there, you got your shot with that many quarters that you got, but they built it to eat all your quarters. So some of that just translated over to when they ported the games to the consoles. But yes, to make it last a little bit longer so you wouldn't, that you wouldn't just go off the game or whatever, or you'd constantly want to, rent it or whatever the case was,
Yeah, gotcha. It makes sense. For me, I got a way less satisfactory answer. I guarantee you everyone who has beat this game didn't have a problem with it, but I did. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Let's talk. When I played this game, I just turned 7. I'm sorry. I hate to date myself. I'm so sorry. I'm just giving context.
It's so listen, you didn't choose when you were born,
Right. It
is what it is,
Right. And so I was making my way through. I think I got through, and I am foggy, like the first couple worlds, I think, and then I think where I could not win. I think this was later on in the game. If it was early, then, whatever like the world 3 or 4 boss was, I think it was like a pufferfish dude, maybe? I think that was world 3 or 4. Could not beat him for the life of me. So I tried maybe 25 times, which in the grand scheme of things is not that many times if you're really determined to beat the game. However, I was like, well, I guess Splatoon wasn't out. Mario 3D World is right there. Nintendo Land's right. I'll just come back to this later. All right, bye. Like, I just gave up. And then I went back and beat it on the Wii U. I think 3 or 4 years later, I got the job done, and it felt great to do. I felt like I healed a childhood wound that I had when I beat that game. It was a good feeling. But
listen, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I guarantee you, Max, there are a bunch of millennials that said, you know what, it's okay. I did the same thing with the original Donkey Kong Country. Because it was the same thing in 1994. A lot of people were 7 years old or 8 years old, and they couldn't beat the game. Like, the game was too difficult, and they had to go back and beat it later, So, yeah, that's the thing. Like, that game's not easy. So it's not even like it was literally the marketing scheme was it's a really hard game.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. I died a bunch of times on that game as well, but I'd also played a ton of Donkey Kong Country in my life leading up to that. So it was a little bit easier for me because I'd played the original, I played 2, I played all those back then, and those games were really hard. So I was kind of used to it a little bit, with DKC.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. I think that was my second Donkey Kong game. I was like, what is going on here? And I didn't beat the first one. So I was really like, once I got further, I was like, golly, like this is tough, but
yeah, it's a hard game. It's not easy at all. They have to add the Funky Kong and funky mode and all
all that. Yeah. Funky mode, new funky mode. Yeah. It's on the box, so must mean something. Toad Bro asks, if you had to live in a Mario Kart track, where would you choose? I thought of an answer, but it's basic. I'd just like live in the Animal Crossing town, but I'm going to think of a new one.
Oh, where's the place with all the candy? I'm trying to have less of a sweet tooth, but I'm just saying if I had, like the candy place where it's like a sweets and all that. Isn't there like a Mario Kart track that's like that?
I think so, but now I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I forget the name of the track, but funny. It's going to be the one with all the cakes and the sweets. But if not that one, what's the one on the Wii U? And also obviously Mario Kart Deluxe where it's like there's like where you're up in like the sky. And there's like a Sky Fortress type of thing, or like I forgot what it's called.
Now we look like fake Mario Kart fans.
Yeah, I know.
I'm forgetting
seriously.
too. I know exactly what you mean, though. It's just been forever since I even turned on Mario Kart 8. So I'm like, all the names are fading slowly.
Yeah, there's I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, like I think it's Cloud Top Cruise.
Yes. Oh,
Something
yeah.
like that.
There you go. That's it. That's it. Yes.
Yes. Like that place just looks super cool. So I
Yes.
mean, something like that would be dope too.
I would do part of the DLC squeaky clean sprint. It was just like someone's house, like just clean soap sponges. Like it was just basic. Or in like November to December, I live in Merry Mountain. The Christmas one. I would love to live there.
That's what it's called, Cloud Top Cruise. Yeah,
Yes.
that place is awesome.
Love it. Either that or, sorry, I'm gonna give one more answer because I gave Merry Mountain and squeaky clean sprint. Like, let me what's a cooler one? Give me Neo Bowser City. Give me that one.
Oh, yeah, Neo Bowser. That's kind of a cool place.
Nice place to live.
I'm somewhat scared of heights though, so maybe Cloud Top Cruise. I mean, like,
it's kind of scary. Just don't look down when you're up there.
Yeah, don't look down.
Oh man! All right, Mario Kart. So, which would you choose from Mario Kart World?
Mario Kart World. Oh, I don't know because Mario Kart World's kind of interesting, right? Because it's all kind of like
It's all like outside
connected,
and it's all just like there's no nice shelter to live in there.
Yeah, I mean,
just give me Moo Moo Meadows. Just give me Moo Moo Meadows.
Yeah, I'd have to kind of look through and really take my time. Be like, okay, which one would I mean, I'm a big Princess Peach fan, so I guess like the Peach Stadium area. I mean, probably I know it sounds kind of boring, but yeah, Princess Peach Stadium. Yeah. Probably like dope, just hanging out with royalty there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everyone's there. All the Toads, Peach. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, I hope this question lands well because I'm not sure if you have played these games. Have you played any Jackbox games? And if yes, what's the best game? That Dupless asked that question.
I have not played. I've watched other people play the Jackbox games. Like I've seen it on like Twitch or whatever, but I don't ever play them myself.
Right. Okay. So I'll answer this, and then I saw one more question that I didn't put on here, but I think that you might think it's cool, so I'll bring it up after this. Just to answer your question without going too into depth. My favorite game is TKO. You like have these T-shirts, and people will like write captions for them, and you draw pictures for the shirt, like a design, and you get to like mix and match them. So OJ, if you made a caption that said like, you know, me when I wake up, and then like I drew a picture of like a drunk Mario, like then like you can mix and match them and like make a funny shirt. Like it's a cool game. Anywho, that's that. The other question that I didn't put on here, I forget the name, I apologize, but it was a question that I almost put on here and I think I should have. They asked, who does the intro for your podcast and how'd you get them to do it? I think it's a cool story that you may enjoy because if I'm not wrong, OJ, are you into like WWE sort of stuff? Like
I was into WWE.
Okay, I don't know why am I thinking that.
Yeah, WWF back in the day, like, you know, I was into like Rock and Stone Cold, and I still watch old WWF and WCW matches. Like I'm not as much into the new stuff, although I do see it, so I'm kind of aware of like Roman Reigns and of like all the stuff now in today's day, but I don't watch it. But back then I used to watch it all the time. So I'm like, I'll know the memes and certain things like that too, you know?
Sure, yeah. And this isn't a WWE thing, but I thought maybe like if you're a fan of that, you might be a fan of UFC. I have the UFC announcer, Bruce Buffer. I don't know if you know, he's right here actually. This is the voice. He does the intro for the podcast. If you ever listen to it, it's like, welcome to the Mario. And I wanted to explain like the story because I get so many comments like, bro, who's this Santa Claus sound and intro that does your intro? It's like, bro, it's not Santa Claus. Like, this is so cool. He does the intros for like fighting out of the red corner. OJ, PlayerEssence. Like, so I just like reached out to, I guess, his team via email. It's like, yo, can Bruce do the intro for my podcast? And they're like, I'm gonna tell the story. I didn't sign anything. They were like, all right, we'll do it for this much. I didn't have this much. I'm like, may not really work for me. They're like, all right, fine, we'll do it for like 5. I shouldn't say this, but like, we'll do it for this much. I'm like, all right, much better. So, and so he did it.
First amount was probably crazy because he charges a lot to do like his voice.
I didn't have that much when I started this podcast. But the other funny thing was when I got him to do it, the first time he did it, he said the Mario matter. I was like, oh no. Oh no. So I had to write an email like to his manager. I was like, he said the Mario. Is there any way that he can say the Mario matter? But the problem is when he redid it, he sounded way less enthusiastic. So what I had to do was take the enthusiastic part of welcome to and then cut it off, use the less enthusiastic Mario, and then bring back matter, the number one. Like I had to like mix and mingle both the recordings together, and then I made the intro. So that's the story. That's the story of how the intro came to be.
That's like incredible, by the way. It's like, yo, Bruce Buffer, he's legendary announcer, legendary. Like, let's get ready to rumble. Like he's got his words trademarked and stuff, and he makes a ton of money and all that type of stuff. So I didn't know that. I thought it was like, I thought you were using like a AI.
Nah. But yeah, I've never told that story. So a little Easter egg for those who made it to the end of the podcast. But folks, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you all listening on your fine Saturday. There are a lot of things that, maybe you aren't listening on Saturday, but there are a lot of things that you can do with your time on Saturday. So we appreciate you squeezing us into your busy schedules. Folks, OJ, great to have you on. If you have any upcoming projects or just like what's next for you, any cool videos coming out, any Mario Titans content, I'm just kidding. If you have anything to plug, your socials, the floor is yours. Talk to the people. Where can they find you? All the good stuff.
One, I want to say thanks for having me on back again, Max. You can let me know anytime and we can definitely do it again. It's a ton of fun being on this podcast. You're awesome. But yeah, if you want to find some of my content, I cover RPG and Nintendo stuff. So right now I put out some cool videos like Crimson Desert and some of the reviews with that. We've got some really cool Mario and RPG stuff that we're going to be talking about as well. I want to talk about the next potential Mario RPG game. So I'm working on a pretty cool video talking about Mario RPG stuff. And I've also got some cool Legend of Zelda stuff that I'm working on. I just had a big discussion on the Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary, what Nintendo could do. So if you're into stuff like that, Legend of Zelda, Mario, RPGs, all Nintendo stuff as well too. I cover all of that on the channel PlayerEssence right here on YouTube, so you can check me out. Awesome,
and we will have that all linked down below. OJ, you are the man. I will see you all next Saturday. I'm going to tease our next podcast episode for our first ever in-person guest episode at PAX East with your favorite YouTubers, Russ Vandy and Infinite Bits. Look forward to that next Saturday. I'll see you all then. Adios.